Lesson 246. To love my Father is to love His Son. Welcome to the Qigong support for A Course in Miracles students. I am Judith and this is the Lucid Mind Center. And the reason why this is called Qigong support is because after the reading and contemplating the lesson together with you, I will guide you to Qigong classes which I have recorded especially suited for this lesson and especially suited for this special thought which belongs to this 10-day period. What is the world? I'm going to give you more instructions at the end. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so more Course in Miracles students can find me. To love my Father is to love His Son. Let me not think that I can find the way to God if I have hatred in my heart. Let me not try to hurt God's Son and think that I can know His Father or myself. Let me not fail to recognize myself and still believe that my awareness can contain my Father or my mind conceive of all the love my Father has for me and all the love which I return to Him. Well, that is really an important lesson to understand. If there is anybody you hate or you're afraid of, if there is anybody where you cannot see the light within, then you can really not understand the light within yourself. Then you cannot understand your source. Because I have struggled long time to understand what does this mean to love my Father. Even when I'm doing my prayer, I'm like loving my Father, loving my God, love God. What does this mean? How can I love something which is totally abstract? Because it very much depends on how you are describing that love within yourself. What is that love? How do you experiencing love? And of course, the love which I'm experiencing, for example, towards my partner is slightly different than the love I'm experiencing towards my children or the love I'm experiencing, for example, to a protector, to a parent or a grandparent. And only after really considering these different qualities of love, and then also after understanding what it actually means when I am in true joy, when I'm experiencing this connection with nature or connection with another person, that I understood what love is. Love is not the possessive rights, if you want, or the agreement I have with my partner. This is not what love is. Love is when we are in union, when we are connected and the joy is joined, and then we are kind of expanding that joy. Or love is when I am in ecstasy almost while I'm holding my child, and the love is just kind of spilling over. It's like my whole system is full with this joy and love and ecstasy of being able to hold my child. And nothing else matters and nothing else I need in this particular moment. It's just kind of a spilling over. And then everybody and everything looks beautiful. But I've also experienced this kind of joy and this kind of love in nature, where I just feel I am in one with nature. So it is very important to distinguish, to understand what is actually love and what are feelings of possession or contracts we have. I mean, the most beautiful love towards me I have experienced from my grandmother. That safety, that embracement, where I knew I was safe and I knew I was loved. Not necessarily so much from my parents actually, and I don't have any siblings of my own age. I have got a stepsister, but we don't really have this sisters connections. So I don't really know what it means. So to love my Father is to love His Son. What does this actually mean? For my own conclusion, for the way I could understand it, is to understand that I am love. If I replace the word Father with love and Son with, To love my love is to love his love. If I replace those words with love, because that's what I truly believe that we all are, then suddenly the whole sentence has got a different meaning. That means what I want to love is the experience of love, because this is when I'm experiencing God. Because if I think of Father as if it was my partner, then I get some kind of possessive rights. This is my partner, because this is what we have in that monogamy. He has got rights on me and I have got rights on him. But this is like a social contract almost. It's not the same as this overwhelming feeling of love I have experienced when I'm in connection, with the universe, when I just feel expanded. So to love my Father, to me then, it means to be in expansion, to love, to love this feeling of expansion, to love this feeling of being in oneness. And then the Son here means that this is the extension of that love. So I'm loving this extension of that joy and happiness in that other person as well. Because that other person has got the rights to that joy and love and expansion and experience of happiness, just the way as I do, because we are one, because we both are an extension of love, because we all are an extension of love. And in this world, we have forgotten this. We are led by ego. We are led by fear, myself included. I am often led by fear. And it's only after I kind of go back within, after I could remove the obstacles of my fear from my mind, that I can connect back in and realize, well, hang on a minute, I am actually love. And love is my Father. Love is my Creator. And I love that love within me. I love that Creator which created me. And I love all that He created. And that is what we got to contemplate, because we believe that the love is the possession maybe we have, or the social contract we have, or the protective feeling we have towards our children, or the protected feeling that we have from our grandmother or grandparents or our parents. But there is a different feeling behind these. It is the mechanisms which are explaining, which are pointing towards what true love actually is. Because the love which you want to experience is within you. It's you who is experiencing that love towards the others. It's that what you want to activate. It's a kind of gratitude. It's a kind of kindness. It's gentleness. It's honesty. It is pure and innocent. It is involving and trusting and kind. This is what love is. And what we are feeling towards other people, these are pointers to understand what that love within is. I hope that explains it a bit. Because you have experienced it already. You have experienced it already. You just need to be able to identify it, to understand, this is what love is. When you are loving somebody, you have to identify which is the love here and which is all the other feelings which are going with that relationship. And the way to recognize which one is the love is when you're comparing your relationships. So the love you've been feeling to your child, where is the similarity to the love you feel towards your partner? And where is the similarity to the person who has actually loved you and gave you that protection? What is the common factor between those loves, or the friendship, or if you love an idol, like a singer or somebody, and if you love God, what is the common factor between that love towards God, to this universal power? What is the common factor towards your child, towards your partner, towards your parent or grandparent or sister or whatever it is? And that common factor then is love. And that common factor then you want to apply to everybody, and then also understand what that love within you actually is. Because maybe we're misunderstanding the love which we have towards God, which I have seen people do. I come from a Catholic family, and I have seen that family members and friends or people from the village, they had an adoration for God, which I felt was actually kind of misplaced. In certain religions, I can see that it's misplaced because they're putting that adoration for this God above the love which they are supposed to feel maybe towards their child, the care. So have they actually understood love, or is that some kind of idol or imagination in their mind? So this is what I want you to try to feel, is the common factor of all those love relationships you have, and when you put that to the smallest factor, that is what love is. And can you then extend that to every other person? Very fascinating. Sometimes when I listen to myself, I'm like, okay, I hope somebody can understand that. So let's read the lesson again. Lesson 246. To love my Father is to love His Son. It is equal. Let me not think that I can find the way to God if I have hatred in my heart. That means if there is somebody I'm hating, if there is somebody I'm neglecting because I don't think they're worthy, then I have not understood love. And you cannot hate somebody and love God and then think that you're going to save yourself even. It doesn't work. We got to love everybody with the same equality, with the same understanding that it's just an extension of the love within yourself. Let me not think that I can find the way to God if I have hatred in my heart. Let me not try to hurt God's Son and think that I can know His Father or myself. To hurt God's Son. I mean, I remember when I had to punish my children because they've been bad, and I sometimes did it disproportionate, especially with my first child, because I just didn't understood it. I just did what my parents did to me. And I remember distinctly, and this is like 33 years ago, because this is how old my oldest son is getting this year. And I think distinctly is, how can I punish my child? How can I have so much hatred when this is the person I love most in this world? And then I started changing slowly. It took me years. It took me years before I became a good parent, mostly with my third child. Only about 10 years later that I actually understood what motherly love is. In the beginning, I didn't understand it. And only because I have had a third and a fourth child did I realize that what I did with my first child was not really the highest potential of motherly love which I could have given. Let me not try to hurt God's Son and think that I can know His Father or myself. Let me not fail to recognize myself and still believe that my awareness can contain my Father, or my mind conceive of all the love my Father has for me and all the love which I return to Him. If you fail to recognize yourself, you cannot recognize your Father. It starts with you. Let me not fail to recognize myself and still believe that my awareness can contain my Father. This is so important. Let me not fail to recognize myself. It is because you are the love. So if you fail to recognize yourself, you're not going to be able to recognize the Father. Let me not fail to recognize myself and still believe that my awareness can contain my Father, or my mind conceive of all the love my Father has for me and all the love which I return to Him. So you got to first recognize the love within yourself. So in the Qigong class, I'm going to ask you to read the sentence. This is a very important lesson. To love my Father is to love His Son. And then I'm going to ask you to read the prayer as well. I will accept the way you choose for me to come to you, my Father, for in that will I succeed, because it is your will, and I would recognize that what you will is what I will as well, and only that. And so I choose to love your Son. Amen. Wow. Let's read that one more time. the prayer, I will accept the way you choose for me to come to you, my Father. For in that will I succeed because it is your will. And I would recognize that what you will is what I will as well. And only that. That means I will recognize that what you want and I want is the same. And willing it, I find, is more powerful than wanting it. Willing is, for me, is that I will get it. There is no choice about it. I will, that this will happen, which is more like a want. Yes, I want it, but there's still kind of a feeling of doubt, whereby when I will it, that will happen. So, for in that will I succeed because it is your will, and I would recognize that what you will is what I will as well, and only that. And so I choose to love you, Son. Amen. So what we want with this particular lesson, we want to understand love. And we want to understand love by loving other people, by recognizing ourselves. It's because you can only recognize yourself when you do love other people. And when you can find that common factor between all the different qualities of love, if you will, between all those different relationships you have, and when you find the common factor between them, that experience of love, is it when you can understand what love is, understand that this is what you truly are. And there's nothing to be afraid of. This is what the 2 lessons before have been teaching us. There is nothing to be afraid of. You are safe anywhere in the world. You are bringing the peace to anyone. And wherever you find yourself, in whatever situation you find yourself in, you have got the ability and the skills to be in that particular situation. Trust, love. So for this particular lesson, as always, here you have the standing Qigong class, here you have the seated Qigong class, here you have what is the world, and here you have got the whole list of Qigong classes if you would like to do another one. Enjoy and let me know how it goes.